Hi, my name is Toni Caraway Smith, and I'm here, Destiny Talk with Tea. I'm so excited about my guest today. I'll tell you, she's multi-talented. I just can't wait till she share her gifts in a second. She's very passionate about her gifts. And to get it all in, we're trying to get it all this segment because she have a lot to tell us, y'all. She has a powerful testimony. And Aurielle, thank you for being here today.
Yes,
How are you?
I am great, Missy. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. I'm so glad
so
you're
appreciative.
here.
And it's such a beautiful setting.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're here. Let's do an icebreaker real quick.
Yes.
Okay, how about that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so coffee or tea?
Tea.
Why tea?
Because I like to get the tea.
Okay, so you know
I
to say
love tea. I've been drinking tea since I was a teenager. My mother turned me on to tea. She's totally holistic. If you have a headache, go get you some tea.
Okay, great.
So I have herbal teas for everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I think that fit the setting. So
Yeah,
like the tea. Okay,
for sure.
we're gonna do two more, and then we're gonna do one at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Okay, you get up early in the morning.
Every morning.
Okay.
I'm up between 5, 6 at the latest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like that too. I get up early and get into devotion to start my day.
Yes.
So right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So
Absolutely.
good. Yeah.
I feel like how I start my day is how it's going to flow.
Exactly.
So I'm definitely big on waking up early so that I can start it properly. And prayer is definitely a part of that, along with affirmations for sure.
Exactly. And then if anything any fiery darts come your way, you already can grab them and attack them.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and this is the last one before we get into the episode. If you were to be called on a talk show, which one would you like to go on?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, so I would say right now, I would love Angie Martinez. She's a podcaster, but a talk show would probably be like Jennifer Hudson, maybe, or Oprah. That would be great.
Yeah, all good. All
Yeah,
my number
yeah.
one. All my number one.
For sure.
Okay, good. Okay, so tell us a little bit about Aurielle.
Yes, so born in New Orleans, raised in California. Me and my mother, we moved to California, Northern California, when I was a young girl.
Okay.
And basically grew up there. It was home pretty much, but definitely a Southern child. So misunderstood, kids picked on me, all the things. However, Cali raised me for sure. But I have a lot of Southern hospitality in me. I would say that.
Okay.
But growing up as an only child.
Oh, really?
Yes,
So
only
the
child.
only child.
Yes.
Wow. And you was born and
Definitely.
raised in California?
Born in New Orleans, raised in
okay.
California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How was it in California?
California, it had its pros and cons. I had some interesting upbringings at times, but ultimately, California, it paved the way for many things for me within my career. But I had to go through a lot of things early on before getting to that part. And so definitely dealt with some childhood trauma. My stepfather, who was addicted to drugs during the time we were in New Orleans, which is why we moved to California. And then my mother, based on that situation, dealt with a nervous breakdown that lasted some time. And though my mother is still a wonderful mother, and she's perfectly fine. You know, God has kept her through it all. But she definitely had her moments at that time. And I had to be there, and I had to be there for her and navigate through life oftentimes, by myself. Though, having some family members that try to step in, but it's kind of hard when you're under your mother's wing and she is your provider. But I definitely just had to experience a lot because I taught myself a number of things that wasn't so good and being influenced by, kids that were a little older or in the same range that was doing a lot more than I was at the time. So I definitely had to overcome those things in life. Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to get more into that because I want to hear more about that part with your mother and the trauma that you have because we need to talk about that. But let's back up a little bit. Now, I read your bio.
Yes.
A very impressive bio.
Thank you.
Tell us about the beauty industry and 14 years old, how that happen?
Yes. So starting off as a teenager, and even I would say before then, I was always on my doll heads. I started doing my mother's hair when I was younger for church. And so by the time I was 14 years old, I was doing my classmates' hair or friends' hair. And I just always loved hair. I was always enamored. And then it became just fascinated with the beauty industry as a whole. I love fashion as well. So right out of high school, I went to fashion school first. So I was about 17 going on 18 years old. I went to fashion school in Southern Cal in Long Beach.
Right.
And that was a journey. I absolutely loved it. We did fashion shows. I had to do displays for as if I was setting up a store display. So it was just different, and it just made me think I could see myself doing this as a career. So that is how Aurielle's Imaging Studio was birthed, because I did hair and still do hair, makeup, and wardrobe styling or consulting. So it's been a blessing to have that as a natural gift and something that God gave me, because it has taken me so far, becoming a celebrity stylist, owning my own salon for 7 years, traveling, doing events such as BET Awards, Stellar Awards, and then even being on the red carpet and being in a magazine and those type of things called Celebrity Report magazine. And so it's taken me very far in life.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting. So nobody in your family had any type of background in cosmetology?
Actually, yes. So one of my aunts, my godmother, actually, her name is Julie Thomas, and I used to look up to her and still do. She's the beauty queen. Like, literally, she has everything.
Wow.
Whatever beauty tips you need, you go to her.
Wow.
Whatever you need in terms of makeup, you go to her. She's the fashion guru. She has everything, maybe two. So I learned from her growing up. I used to watch her do her children's hair, and she did my hair as well. So she was the first cosmetologist that I learned from.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is she still doing hair?
She isn't, but her daughter is.
Okay.
Her daughter is an amazing cosmetologist.
Really?
Like, I'm talking about, she does nails, she can do makeup, bridal, slay some weaves and colors. She is well-rounded in Little Rock. So
Great.
yeah,
Great.
for sure.
Tell us what type of celebrities and what areas did you do as far as fashion, styling, hair?
Yes.
What celebrities that you work with?
Yes. So I would say some of the biggest names I've worked with is Tina Campbell. I was a hairstylist for her for the Stellar Awards. I did style and cut what she had. She chose to go in that direction, but it was still a great experience for me to be able to have her as one of my first celebrity clients. And that was a pretty big name, because I grew up listening to Mary Mary. I grew up listening to her. So it was just like, I was in awe, like literally in awe, and trying not to be nervous.
Right.
And it's not that you worship them, but it's just, when you have songs like It's the God in Me, and that's something that you listen to almost on a day-to-day, and then that person is right in front of you. It's kind of surreal.
Right.
And then you have Mr. Les Brown, who is my current, mentor and friend, and he's an amazing person. He's someone that really, really... One, he valued me. I would say he valued me, and he gave me so much knowledge in terms of just how to grow. Like he always said, you could be a motivational speaker. You have it in you.
Right.
And so now I gained so much from him in that realm. But I did his hair, and I also traveled with him and assisted him for his motivational speaking engagements, along with his family and his son.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
I love his
that too was a blessing.
testimony.
Yeah.
I love it. I love his
Yeah.
testimony, and I always follow him because he's so encouraging.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so the red carpet stylist, we talked about that. Who is your main supporter that basically got you, just support you,
Sure.
doing everything that you're doing to encourage you?
My mother is my number one. My number one since day one. She is my rock. She is my best friend. She will literally sit on the phone with me if I need to talk. She will support me in any way that she possibly can within her reach.
Right.
And I'm grateful to her. She's the woman who introduced me to God. She's the woman who, helped me to understand the word and how to pray about something. So while she may have had her shortcomings based on experiences that wasn't really in her control, even in her childhood, I just think she was the best mother. Because if you have a mother that brings you to God, that's your source. That is where you gain everything from. So my mother, and to this day, I mean, we're best friends. I look forward to Mother's Day coming up because I'm like, what can I do to honor her?
Yeah. Mom, you did a great job. Okay, so tell us a little bit. I know you started off mentioning about a little trauma. Can we go into the trauma that you experienced? Is it a two-part trauma? Was it any type of abuse, or was it mental?
So I had my own trauma that I put on myself, and I think my own trauma was not forgiving, and that part of it was the mental, going through mental, breakdowns to where, there's times I had to be hospitalized because I literally was not in my right mind at that time and just really under attack with my mind. And literally, I remember it like it was yesterday. It's almost like what's going on, but you can't control it. And in those moments, I would just within myself, like, God, help me get through this. And thankfully, it wouldn't last long, but it was hard. It was really hard. And it would take me time to get back feeling some normalcy.
Right.
And, and now, like I said, not only do I have my prayer life, but I have so many tools that I'm able to use to where I don't have those same battles anymore. So it's a blessing where, some people will look at you like, oh, that's how she is. You know what I mean? Or, oh, she's going down that road. But it's like, no, God said something different. He said, touch not my anointed.
Right.
And I'm grateful because he brought me through it to get me to where I am so I can help someone else.
Right.
And so I can let the next generation or the next woman who dealt with the same thing say, like, listen, you can get through this. This is not your final destination, and you have a choice in that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a powerful testimony.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people always don't identify what mental illness and mental health look like.
Yeah.
Do it like you? Do it look like me? Because I'm a two-time attempted suicide survivor. When I'm speaking, nobody would ever thought that. And then even speaking to you, nobody would ever thought that, right?
Right, exactly.
And so how can you encourage someone just in that piece, how to get through? How did you actually get through besides prayer?
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's a stigma about mental illness.
It is.
Did you have any therapy?
A huge stigma. So yes, I definitely and still do. I recently found a new therapist who I love.
Good.
And I think therapists are great because it's a safe place. You're not being judged, you're being heard. And then I was specifically looking for someone that would give me tools and not just listen. Like, listening is great, but I need tools.
Right.
And so I finally found someone, and for someone to kind of call me out.
Yeah.
Because I can think I'm right about something and I'm not. You know what I mean? Or I'm thinking in the right direction and I'm not. I'm seeing I'm experiencing something based on trauma and not by, you know what I mean, by actual reality. So sometimes you can be navigating in such a way where you're still mentally living in the past. So therapy helps me with that. It helps me to see how I might be correlating something with the past.
Yeah.
And so that allows me to center myself and say, okay, that's not who you are anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not where you want to be. So now let's fix that. Let's think different.
Yeah.
So I love therapy for that reason. I do affirmations as well. And then I also journal a lot. I'm big on writing. I plan to finish a book.
Good. Please do.
For sure.
Yeah.
I do. Because I think when you keep something powerful to yourself, you do a disservice to other people because somebody needs to hear what you've been through. And that allows people to understand you that maybe they wondered, like, why did she, you know what I mean? Like, even though on the outside right now, you see the you see the person I have become, but this was not always my disposition. There were times where I might have a look of gaze, or I might have a look of, is she upset? What's going on? But I'm literally in my head about so many different things. And I think now, or being socially awkward, you know what I mean, in times. So I think now it allows even people who know me to understand me a lot more, like being open and honest about where I am. But journaling is is a great thing for me. And then, like I said, once I do release a book, that'll be good for people to just know who I am and know also that you too can make it through anything. You know, we all have a story, and no one's in any position to judge that.
That's
Nobody.
Right. That's right. That's good. So would you say that there was some trauma that you had to deal with in order for you to, to experience what you went through? Was it some trauma?
For sure. So besides like trauma with, of course, both parents, I dealt with sexual abuse as well. I was raped a couple of times in the city of Oakland. And you can say I put myself in that position if someone would say that as a young girl, but then there's also this naivety that you have, you know what I mean? Because you're thinking you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're meeting, you're with a friend, and then that turns into something different, you know? And so, you know, I'm only, 14, 15 years old, really not even 15, 14 at the time. And so I'm thinking this person is my friend, and I almost was gang raped, and I had to literally go from door to door asking for help. And that was the hardest time for me because I'm scared. I'm scared for my life. They even threatened my life if I told. So it was just a hard experience to deal with, you know. But I feel like now it's not something I carry. It's something I definitely remember, but it's not at the forefront of my mind. I felt like it had me trapped for a long time. And that, along with the trauma of, you know, being a child, going to the drug house with my stepfather, you know, not watching him do drugs, but going to the area and knowing that's what was going on, or seeing how he treated my mother at that time. And that was my stepfather, who is my dad. I call him my dad, and I forgave it because he asked for forgiveness, not just to me, but to God, you know? And so I was able to forgive him, but I was angry with him for some time as well. But I had to learn, you know what? This was his story. This was, you know, he had some things. I think childhood is something sensitive because I feel there's so many people that go through something and then it becomes a vicious cycle and someone has to stop it, right? And so I'm happy that literally he'll tell you the story himself of how he was saved while doing drugs, and asked God, like, to save him. And in that moment, that's what God did. And he never picked it up again.
Yeah. So can you tell me how difficult it was to forgive him, and what impact did that play on you? Because my husband of 29 years of marriage, in the first, I would say 17, 18 years, he was on crack cocaine. And so I have 3 sons. And so boys are different. And I, you know, but
they're very protective of their mothers. So
can you just kind of tell the audience how you felt and how you feel now, the forgiveness part? How did God work on you to forgive him?
I think it's twofold. One, I always wanted a father, right? And that was Dad for me. You know, I called him Dad. He was there when I was extremely young, 4 or 5 years old. So that's part of it, not wanting to let that go. And why I chose to forgive. But then another part of it is understanding that grace was so important, because even my mother taught me to forgive. She's a very forgiving person. You know, she does not look at him as her enemy. Now, they may not talk on the day-to-day, but at the same time, that's something she even forgave, you know. But it was a choice because I saw his growth. You know, I saw a changed man, and that meant something to me, you know. And just to see him conquer that, not a lot of people do. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people. And he did it for years. And while I was angry, I think, honestly, there was a moment I didn't even realize how angry I was until me and him was in a conversation before I knew I had them blew up and told him off for doing anything to my mother. And I was like, oh my God, where did that come from?
Right.
And I had to, I mean, he was upset with me, like, what? But it's like sometimes it just has to be released. It has to go somewhere.
Right,
You know,
right.
you can't hold
Hold
on
it
to
in,
it.
right.
And even though it may have not been pretty, you know, it was something that I needed to release because it was trapped
Right.
within me. You know,
Right.
that anger was just building up. So it's releasing it. You know, I was told to write it out and write like a forgiveness letter, or even start it out as like whatever you're upset about and then throw it away.
Yeah.
You know, burn it.
Yeah.
And forgive it at
Right.
the same time. But I didn't fully do that.
Right.
So
Right.
I think what was the outcome of that was I had to go through that fire. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that's the beginning of your healing, where now you felt that you can open up and just
Yeah.
release anything that you had
Yeah.
to say that was traumatizing you in the past.
And in a healthy way.
Yes,
Right? Like we
right.
had healthier conversations where, you know, it's not about me being so angry with you now. It's just that's what it was. And I was just upset because my mother is my angel. And I think I finally got to see it was never really her fault. You know what I mean? Like she may have made certain choices, but she didn't know coming into the situation that was what was happening, you know? And then there's so much she experienced on her own. So it was just like, you touched my only mother, you know?
I know.
So that was, you hurt my only mother. And
Right.
that was the resentment. It
Right.
was part of the anger because I just felt like there was so many years where she had to go through so much. And I really didn't like that for my mother.
Right.
But, you know, once again, even looking at her now where she is not only loving on herself, she just is living such a happy, fulfilled life.
Praise God.
And she just glows.
Yeah.
We look like sisters.
Aw. Praise God.
And, you know, she just has a powerful testimony. And I'm so proud of her and all that she's doing in life. I look up to her.
I'm proud of her too.
So,
I don't even know her.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, I was going to ask you about. You said at the beginning that you did some radio.
Yeah.
What you did radio? Tell us a little bit about that for
I
a few
did.
seconds.
So I was on with someone named TC,
Mm-hmm.
and we had sisters who thrive together.
Mm-hmm.
And then so basically I had a beauty segment, and then we did affirmations. We also interviewed different gospel artists. So it was a gospel channel online.
Okay.
And then I also was under Mega Source Entertainment, and that was through Rich Adams, who is also into motivational speaking and helping people with their businesses and navigate through life as a life coach.
Okay.
So he's awesome. He allowed me to be on his platform. I also played some music, but I did interviewing.
Okay.
And this was not necessarily just from a celebrity realm in terms of interviewing. It was people that are just thriving in life and doing great things and that have a testimony like me.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Good. And what else are you doing right now besides your fashion still, and what else you're doing right
Yeah,
now?
so I'm a hairstylist. Definitely have a nice clientele and it's growing. I have a studio located in Katy. I am looking at growth opportunities, so that should be coming soon. And definitely still doing some award shows as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you travel? Still travel?
Yeah, so I go to California and I still have clients there, and I will do hair at a salon suite company. And I'll basically, you know, set everything up and do all of my clients
Oh,
there in
wonderful.
Oakland. Yeah.
Good.
So my clients are always like, when are you coming? Like right now, they've
Yeah.
been asking, when are you coming? Because there's, you know, all
Yeah.
these different things coming up.
Right.
But I try to get out there at least twice a year. If I can, 3. But yeah, I'll probably be heading out there soon as well.
Aurielle, what is something that you want to tell the viewers that's important for them to know in regards to your testimony?
Well, it's very important, number one, to have a relationship with God who's within you. That is your source. If ever you are unsure about something, you're hurt about something, don't be afraid to cry it out. You know, I believe God is the best comforter, but also don't be afraid to talk it out. If you need to have a therapist and do that for yourself, because there's healing in it. Healing is a journey and it's a process, but you will get to the point where you no longer wake up angry, or you no longer wake up confused or unsure how the day is going to go. You actually take control of your day.
Right.
So you can get to that point, and I'm a living testimony of that for sure. And also there's hope. There is hope, you know. You can become whatever it is you want. You know, I know you had some instances that you mentioned, and for people that have thought about that, you know, all you got to do is wake up another day and try it again.
Good.
You know what I mean? Wake up another day. Know that this is not your final destination in life, and that there's so much more that life has to offer if you just don't give up and keep going. You know, just know that. And like I said, affirmations work for me. Exercising, taking a walk, so many different things. But just knowing that, number one, do whatever it is you need to do for you, because giving up can never be an option. You can be a conqueror, and you are.
That's good.
And you have to affirm that.
That's good.
Yes.
I like that. I really like that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do another icebreaker really quick. Well, maybe two, if you
Yes.
don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, what is the most replayed song in your phone?
Ooh. Okay, so I am old school all the way. One of the things one of the artists I've been listening to though lately is Tim's. Yeah, I love Tim's. She has a new song, Never Let Go, I believe. I love that song, but I also love old school. Like, I'm talking about not even my time, old school.
Yeah.
Like Diamond in the Back, Sun Rooftop.
Yeah.
That right there, that song, Just Be Thankful.
Yeah.
I was listening to that just this morning.
Wow.
At least 3 times.
I love that song.
That is one of my favorite songs.
I love that song.
Yeah, and then Marvin Gaye. I'm a huge Marvin Gaye fan.
Good. You got good taste in music.
I do.
You do.
I always say I probably should have been born at that time.
Yeah.
Because that is literally, those are my go-tos.
Yeah.
If it's not that, it's 90s, or it's like folks like Jill Scott, you know. Definitely love my old school.
Good.
Yeah.
And you said that you got some things coming up. Is there anything next for you besides just in a few more minutes that we have?
Sure.
What's next for you besides
Expansion, building my
expansion?
business, and mentoring other young women that want to have their own or that want to advance within their career. I will definitely have a hub for that for sure.
Okay. And just a few seconds, do you have any more parting words? And if you do, you can look into the camera and tell the audience, someone that may need to be encouraged, just something last that you want to say.
Yes. I'm going to give you guys an acronym. And that acronym is to walk. And so walk is to wake up and set your intention for the day. So you want to wake up with your passion, whatever you're passionate about. You want to wake up and set that intention. You want to align yourself with God that's within you. That is the A, right? God is your source. He is everything. You will hear me say that all the time, because literally that is what helped me navigate through life.
That's great.
That is where I gain whatever I need from. And then L, you want to leave your past behind, because it does not serve you. It does not serve you. You can't grab it. It can't comfort you. Now, it can comfort you in the wrong way if you allow it to, but leave your past behind, unless it's just to look back to say, look how far I've come. And then K, keep going one foot in front of the other, walking to your destination.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
Give the audience your social media.
Yes. So my social media is Auri_hair, and that's AURIE, or Ari Hair on TikTok. If you want some inspiration, you can follow me at Ari's Journey, and that's on TikTok as well as YouTube.
Great, 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 great. Thank you so much. I really
Yes.
appreciate it. Okay, everybody, you heard Aurielle. You heard her, and she believes in dreams, and she know that dreams do come true. And thank you so much for joining in to Destiny Talk with T. I am so happy that I had the opportunity for you to come in today.
Yes, I'm so happy.
We're going to have to come again and
Absolutely.
talk again about your testimony because you have an amazing testimony. I'm so
Thank
glad
you.
you're here.
Thank you so much.
You can reach me at determineyourdestiny@gmail.com, and you can also visit me on my website at determineyourdestiny.com. Also, my social handle is TikTok, and you'll see that on the screen too as well. I have a book also that's out, a children's book, and also I Hear You God, a book too as well. Thank you so much for joining Destiny Talk with T. God bless you.